live. What's a Sunday title? I'm not adding a title. It's just Sunday.
It's Sunday. Ah. So do I need to sing?
You probably do need to sing, yeah.
All right, because I didn't sing last time. Are you ready? Are you ready for the grand chorus?
Go on then.
Going, going, going live. Yeah. You like that?
Yeah. Did you hear the applause from the crowd?
Yeah, and also I thought there was a bit of harmony going on there as well.
I had to laugh.
Go on.
So I had a phone call from someone I've been friends with since I was about 12 the other day, and we were discussing men, and there was an issue, and there was a pause, and she went, "Oh, stop it! I can hear your eyes rolling." They were almost somersaulting around my head. Sort of thing, you know.
Luckily, when I speak to you, it's usually via video, and I can just see them as well as hear them. It's not a problem.
I'm going to send her the link to that Tracy Ullman thing where she does Angela Merkel.
Oh yeah, she's fab, isn't she, Tracy?
Oh, she's just so good, and they're practicing her not eye rolling when anybody mentions Boris Johnson's name. And the muscles of her eyes flip her entire body as she's trying not to do it.
But her eyes don't roll. So what beverage have you got in your fancy cup today?
Jake's not here, so I can tell you that I pinched some of his fancy Rington's hot chocolate.
Are you allowed that? I thought you were off the milk.
Well, it's made with hot water. So.
It doesn't have milk in the hot chocolate mix, though.
It says no. It says to make it with milk.
Yeah, but most hot chocolates have got milk in them, haven't they?
Oh, maybe it has. I've had a lactose tablet, so we'll see. I'll either suffer or I won't.
Well, I mean, I can't talk.
It's Sunday and I don't care.
Yesterday, you know, I said that I went to that food thing.
Yeah.
And I saw some gluten-free, milk-free onion bhajis. Now, I know I'm not supposed to eat onions. It's on my hit list. However, the fact that it was gluten-free and milk-free, and it's one of my absolute favourite foods, and I haven't had one in probably about 2 years, and I'm having a gluten-free, dairy-free onion bhaji.
Was it good?
Oh, it was so tasty. So tasty. Yeah. But
there we are.
I definitely can't have onions. It's fine. It's only wind. It just like brings my stomach up like a balloon, and then I just get a little bit pumpy.
Okay.
So, you know, not to put too fine a point on it, I let rip a really loud one this morning and woke the dog up.
Wow. So is your nickname Pooper now then?
No, I think it's still Barbara at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you like my natural highlights?
Let me have
How are they coming along?
They're looking good.
Yeah. It's just here at the temples, isn't it? So like that one's definitely good.
Yeah, definitely got the Bride of Frankenstein thing going on. Elsa Manchester needs to look out, because once that grows all the way down.
Yeah. So I've pinned the front up just to sort of like accentuate it a bit, because normally the hair falls down and it hides it. And I thought, come on, let's show off our natural highlights today, shall we?
Yeah, do right.
Yeah. How's your natural highlights coming on?
Much the same. Really hard to spot.
They just look like highlights in your hair. You lucky lady.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Yvonne says hello.
Hi, Yvonne. How you doing?
Helen's with us as well. Helen Curzon.
Yeah, she said she was going to be with us today. Have you got the dinner on and boys sort of stapled to the floor or gaffer taped to something?
She's ironing.
Oh.
Why would anyone do that? I don't understand.
Yeah, but we make it bearable and even fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, on the plus side.
Shall I update you on the saga with the neighbour and the fence? Would that make it a little bit interesting?
Yeah. Tell us what's happening. The dog's not eating her then.
The dog hasn't eaten her yet. What did we get up to? We got up to Thursday night, didn't we, when I saw you last?
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, I had the guy come back and he finished off the hedge and he's cut all the trees back and everything. Butchered the trees would probably be a more accurate description. I have more tree in my garden on the floor than I have on the tree.
Oh,
but it's fine. So anyway, I went yesterday to see her to ask her if she would like bits of her tree back, which by law you're supposed to offer it back, aren't you? It's her tree, and even though I've cut it down, I'm not allowed to throw it back over her fence because apparently that is officially fly tipping.
yeah.
But it's still her property. So I went round and I asked her if she wanted it back, and she said no. So that's fine. I borrowed a wood chipper off of Elaine, so I'm going to turn it into wood chippings. And so while I was there, I started asking about the fence and that, and I gave her another chance to say, did she want to put towards putting a new fence up, because I can't afford to do it on my own. No, she definitely doesn't want to do it. But because it's my fence, she's very annoyed that she should have had the good side facing her, not the bad side, because apparently you're supposed to. And I was like, I don't think so. If I'm paying all that money out, I'm going to have the good side facing me. Thank you very much. I just don't understand that. Why would you expect someone to pay thousands of pounds for a fence and then give them like the bad side? I don't know. Anyway, so she called her son in the end, because I was asking her, I said, if I put up a new fence and I pay a lot of money out for it, could you please not let ivy grow on it this time? And could you please not let your land fall away and push my fence over? And we get Jonathan, and he comes out all stroppy, moaning, saying that when the dad let the builders put the fence up, he washed his hands of it. He said that they could do it as long as that he had absolutely no responsibility towards 30-foot of fence. He didn't want it. So you do it, but on your head be it, sort of thing. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he started going on about the tree, and I was like, hey, it's not my tree. So he then said, right, I don't want it, you don't want it, I'll cut that bloody thing down, and stormed off in the middle of a conversation. So I was like, all right, okay, fine. So we've now decided that I'm going to take the fence down, because my brother-in-law came over and had a look, took a couple of panels off. You can't even look through it. It's thick with ivy. You can't see through the hole when you take the panels off, right?
Right.
So we're taking it down. We're going to put some posts in some concrete, and then we're going to just put some green wire mesh up to keep the dog in the garden. And that's it. I am not paying thousands of pounds for a wall to keep her garden in her garden.
It's up to them to retain their property. It's their responsibility.
Yeah, and she won't have any of it. And I am not legally required by law to erect a fence. I am only legally required by law to contain my animal in my garden.
That's right.
And so that is what I will do. And I've priced it up. It's going to cost 150 quid.
Yeah. I think I might have said this the other week though.
You did, yeah. But that's how, you know, we've come to that conclusion now, that is definitely what we're doing. So I'm quite happy about it. I'll get my bushes so I can get to trim my bush a couple of times a year.
Marvellous.
And
every girl needs a tidy bush. So just
yeah.
sure there's comments about that.
No, there's no comments about tidy bushes.
Our boys are playing Nintendo.
Which one though? Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Switch? Are we playing Animal Crossing?
Don't know.
We need details.
Has anybody got a drink? I've got my hot chocolate. Well, actually, it's Jake's hot chocolate, but he's not here, so it's my hot chocolate right now.
Ah, tough, Jake. I have tea, black tea.
We kind of have a rule with stuff in this house. If you snooze, you lose. So
I like it.
So you see, I've got a couple of parcels behind me that have got to go tomorrow.
Oh.
One, bizarrely, is Lion Brand that's being sent back to America because the lady can't get the colour there anymore, and I seem to be the only person in the world with stock. So,
okay.
So I'm sending that back so that she can finish the crochet blanket she's been working on for 2 years for her son to take to college. And she sent me a
Oh,
lovely photograph of the blanket. It's in like a rusty red and this willow green. It's going to look
right.
really good. So got that to go. And then I think the other one's just some James Brett marble or something colourful.
Sounds fabulous.
I'm picking away on my top for Jutta.
Oh, wow, you're doing really well with that. Speeding along, you'll be finished within no time.
I've just joined, before we went online, the fourth ball of the drop spell. So it's gone quite a way. And it's been a very enjoyable knit.
It looks like the kind of knit that I like doing.
I like that you start with the back neck and then you work down and then you pick up the shoulders, which are cast on, and then work down to the front. And I've actually added bust darts to this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, optimistic, I know.
You know how to live dangerously. You do, don't you?
So I just thought I'll have a bit of extra coverage for the girls.
Well, you know, they are good-looking girls.
They are. Got to look after him. So it just sort of tucks in nicely underneath the boobage now.
The over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
Sorry?
Over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
It is, yeah.
Cool. I'm still doing my dress. Don't have a flash.
Yes, let's see.
Okay. Ooh.
Very cute.
So we just got like a little garter at the bottom, garter thingies, and then a garter waistband. And now I'm going to do a stockinette bit at the front. And it's going to go up at the back, and it's going to have a little opening for maybe one or two buttons. I'm not sure, one or two only. And then the front's going to come scoopy down with a garter neckband. And then I'm just going to do little thin sleeves, but I'm going to put those on buttons at the back so that you can either have them straight or you can have them crossy. You know, like suspenders.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Americans
Took
call
me a minute.
What do we call braces?
Yeah.
Americans say suspender.
Yeah. I mean, we would have sock suspenders, perhaps. I'm not sure I've got any of the other type of suspenders in the house. I think last time I wore any, Mike nearly broke his neck laughing.
I've got some still in a box, I think. It's a bit like what Helen says, there's no point tidying the bush when no one's looking at it.
Well, yeah. You know. It's not really a worry at the moment, is it?
25 weeks and counting. You're even further.
Well, yeah, 5th of December, I think.
You're a whole month more than me.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's fine. There's pros and cons to all of it, I suppose, isn't there?
It is.
Yeah. All right. Arthur's asleep on the floor.
Oh, Yvonne says it's hot there. It's cool here, Yvonne. We've got 50-mile-an-hour winds today.
We had a lot of rain yesterday.
And Helen says the boys are playing Mario Maker on the Switch.
Ah, see.
Is the Switch the latest game console? Is this?
Yeah, you can put it on the TV, or you can have it as a handheld one.
Right. Sharon was talking about one of those because she's in a battle with them at the moment because apparently the children can access YouTube and there isn't any great filtering on it.
All right.
So her youngest is internetless at the moment.
Luckily, I'm past all that with 17 and 19-year-olds.
Jake just never seems to get stressed about anything, so I just kind of leave him to it. I did have to laugh though. He came home last night with full of joy. He's fine. You wouldn't know there'd been anything wrong with him. He's not got any bruising or anything else.
Bloody teenagers.
Oh, I know. I still can't even sort of touch this side of my face anything other than gently because it's still like, ooh, and he goes, well, just don't touch it.
Well, you know, there is that.
I need to know if I can.
Exactly. How do you know that it hurts when you touch it? You don't touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't get it.
Oh, okay.
I may have ordered myself a new t-shirt today.
A new t-shirt?
Yeah.
What kind of t-shirt?
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Right.
I think I'm going to have to replace the strap on my Fitbit. Keeps.
No. What have you done?
Well, they start to come away on these side bits after a certain period of time.
Right.
The actual strap inside is still connected, but the outside goes sort of floppy and and the next thing it starts slipping down your wrist and twisting round, and before you know it, it's off. So I'll have to bite the bullet and order one, but I think it'll be an eBay job.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm not paying Fitbit £30 for a strap.
Oh, no, I'm sure you'll find one cheaper. Right, here we go. I'll share this. This is my new t-shirt. Hopefully it should be here for Friday. What do you think of that then?
Oh, nice.
Ready for my Hamel party? Stop sharing you. There we go.
Very good.
Yeah, we're going to have a buffet. Caitlin and I are going to go to Iceland on Friday morning and get some buffet food from Iceland. I love Iceland for party food.
Do they have a good range of gluten-free?
No, so I won't be able to eat much of it, but you know, it's fine. Caitlin and Callum will eat it. Callum won't watch, but he'll eat the food.
Well, 50% is better than none.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's something in there I could eat. I don't know.
Oh, well.
Morrison's up the road isn't too bad, so I'll go and have a look in the Morrison's. They've got a freezer for gluten-free stuff. So I'll go and pick some stuff out of there and then get them too stuff. Little mini pizzas and just rubbish like that, really.
How's the ironing going, Helen? I feel for you, I do.
At least it's not as roasting hot as it was. There's nothing worse than ironing in the heat.
No, there isn't. But never mind. I'm just going to show you something.
Come on, Ooh!
So
it's purple.
It's a bit of wool. Well, it's cotton actually.
Yeah.
So it's some Shirler & Style lemony that's been kicking around for a while that I got to do some design work.
Ooh.
I have almost 12 of the sort of dirty rosy antique colour at the back, and then obviously the dark purple through to the pale lilac, kind of a pinky thing going on. So I'm thinking with the oddments I could maybe do some sort of gradient top.
Ooh.
And the other, depending on what gauge I work out at, I could possibly do a little cropped cardigan for summer.
That sounds nice. Bolero.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
That would be nice. But don't interfere with my my brain, and you have to go the right way with the light to dark or dark to light, whichever you want to say.
Dark at the bottom.
Yeah, because it really, really disturbs me when I see it the wrong way up.
Well, I have to put dark at the lower end because I'm broader there and you want the darker colours there. You don't want the dark at the top where you've got no shoulders.
Yeah, but do you not think no matter what the person's shape is, it just doesn't look quite right if the dark's at the top?
I'm not keen on dark at the top, no.
I just find it just messes with my brain a little bit.
Well, and if it were an ombre, which is kind of the look you're going for when you're doing that, the whole point of it is that you've sort of dipped the bottom of the fabric in the dye and it's crept its way up and it gradually loses strength towards the top.
Yeah.
And it gets lighter towards the top. So that's the kind of logic for me that just says it'd be wrong to do it any other way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like anything too dark next to my face anyway.
Well, you kind of detract from the beauty.
Well, this is it. Being sort of soft muted, anything too dark is just overwhelming. All And if I had sort of a boat neck or something, it would look like my head had been chopped off and just placed on a black table.
Whereas I wear black tops all the time. I don't care.
You're cool. And you got a bit of a tan thing going on.
I've got a lot of a tan. Shall I show you my tan line? Can you see that tan line?
Can.
Actually, it doesn't show up very well on that camera because of the light.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
Yeah, but it's really dark. I am lily white, almost blue naturally. I just spend a lot of time outside. 10k this morning outside.
That's just not natural. Helen will agree with me here that that's just wrong.
No, Helen would love to come on a 10k with me. I know she would.
Yeah, as driving support.
No. She'd like to come and run. She'd prefer to do that than the ironing.
What, hack her head off?
No, I think she'd rather run than do the ironing.
No, I think she'll go for the ironing.
Nobody chooses to do ironing.
My mum likes ironing.
Exactly. Thereby proves my point.
Yeah.
Love your mum to bits, but you know.
I just don't get it. Yeah, it's such a pointless exercise. And it should really only be reserved for blocking and steaming knitted items that require a bit of tuck into shape.
And also, I'm afraid in this house, if you want to wear it ironed, you're the one that irons it, because I'm not doing it.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm rubbish at it anyway. My dad said I always used to put tram lines up the sleeves of his shirts.
Phil's the best ironer in this house, having been in the Navy.
Well, yeah, my dad, having been in the army, was much the same. He's really good at polishing shoes as well.
Oh, God. Those shoes are the shiniest ones you've ever seen in your life, aren't they?
My brother learnt that in the army. So when he lived with us for about 6 months, maybe 12. Well, he came to us for a fortnight instead. I think it must have been a year.
Right.
And that was, I've never had such shiny shoes in my life because that was one of his jobs.
Well, I was going to say, you know, that these guys are so good at shining shoes that even if the shoes weren't actually meant to be shiny in the first place, they could get a brilliant shine on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it.
Spit, hot spoon, and polish.
It's good.
Yeah, had beautiful shoes. Helen, as I suspected, is saying she'd need to bring a car for the 10k. So yeah.
I don't believe any of you. Callum ran on the treadmill this morning. He said he did 12 minutes without stopping and walking. A full 12 minutes running, bless him.
Wow.
He's getting there.
What could he do at the beginning?
5 minutes.
That's quite a big jump then.
He was quite pleased with himself.
That's really good.
I said to him, running's hard.
My son bought dinner for today.
Do what?
Jake bought dinner for today. Got out of it, not all of it.
What's he done?
They must have gone to Tesco last night before they went to watch the match. Because United were playing, so of course the world stops for that. Because it's not life or death, it's more important than that, as Bill Shankly used to say. But he came home and he said, don't say I never buy anything for you. And he'd been on Vulture Corner in Tesco's and brought back a couple of salmon fillets. So that's what we're having for lunch today.
I love salmon.
And then I got a message of heading to Tesco's. Do we need anything? Is there any soft cheese to have with the salmon? And I looked in the fridge and I'm thinking, well, there's about 4 packets of it. How much do you need?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure what we're having with it yet, whether he wants some of the Aldi home fries, which are quite good because they're nice and crisp and they're quite chunky chips. And I can have 100 grams of those for about 3 shillings, I think. So we'll see.
How did you get on?
What?
You mean your Slimming World? You didn't tell me.
Oh, £0.5 off this week
Well done.
and last week. So
That's good.
yeah, I wanted it to be more, but then I wasn't as good as I should have been. And the fact that I've got any loss makes me super pleased. So
Oh
just
yeah.
me.
Okay. And also, I find that when it's hot, I swell up and retain water. So
I really struggled with that heat. Absolutely struggled with that heat.
it.
Mm.
I mean, God, did you have all those thunderstorms yesterday?
Yes, and again this morning.
Oh, we haven't had any today. We just had a lot of rain and wind today. But oh, I love a good thunderstorm. Could sit and watch lightning for hours.
I love it. My mum will have been under the stairs in the cupboard.
I don't get that. I mean, it's probably like really ignorant of me to say, but I just think it's really beautiful.
Well, that's what I think. And I used to go and sit out in the garden and watch the thunder.
Yeah.
And she'd be going,
Oh,
"Get in the house! Get in the
yeah.
house!" Absolutely freaking out. And I'd be sat in the rain.
Well, I was stood at the back door watching it with Arthur, but I had to shut the door because it was all coming in and making the wooden floor a bit yucky. And my husband wouldn't have been happy.
Well, no.
Yeah, I do. I love it.
And it would be slippy.
Yeah, yeah, it does get slippy. But Arthur wasn't so sure.
So are you knitting, Yvonne? What are you on with?
Mm.
And Helen, I would imagine it's not had time to knit a stitch lately with
Well, you know,
everything she's got going on.
I've got visions of Helen knitting and ironing at the same time because she's that clever.
Well, if anyone can figure it out, Helen can. Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, we're all supposed to be together, aren't we?
I want to be together. I saw Vicky yesterday as well. She'd come up from Huddersfield, and I said we should have been away this weekend.
Yeah.
We should have had a steak night on Friday night.
Yeah, I didn't have any steak, unfortunately. I used it earlier in the week. I did a slimming recipe from the Pinch of Nom second cookbook. It's the one with the orange cover, and it was called Crying Tiger Beef.
And did you cry when you ate it?
Honestly, it was delicious. It was absolutely lovely. I had to make some substitutions to the recipe because they use soy sauce and I use something called liquid aminos, which is a soy sauce substitute, but no soya.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have the fish sauce because that had crushed prawns in it. So I made up a tiny amount of fish stock from a cube, concentrated bit of fish stock, and added that instead. And that claimed to be prawn free. And I have to say it was lovely. Jake's take on it was that the sauce was a tad barbecuey.
All right.
For something that was sort of a Chinese type dish. But I followed the recipe exactly other than those two changes.
But don't they do barbecue ribs and stuff in Chinese cuisine? So
yeah, absolutely. But different ingredients. I mean, there was no vinegar or anything like that in there, or honey, or any of the expected stuff. I mean, it was really, really nice, and I loved the garlicky sort of dressing that you poured over the top.
right.
And I did some caramelized onions and peppers that I'd cooked very slowly to go over the top of it because I didn't feel there was enough veg with the meal, and we had it with I cheated it with some packet rice from Aldi, their golden vegetable savoury rice. I do add other vegetables. I add peppers and onions and courgette and usually some very finely chopped green beans or something like that to it. So
Yeah.
Helen says, got some yarn from Ginger Twist in Edinburgh to console myself over missing Woolfest, and I've been swatching it. It's gorgeous. What's the yarn, Helen, that you've got? And Yvonne is working on the Leslie T, which is Noma's design. Is it Noma? that we looked at the other week. Remember the lady with the aqua sort of swingy tee?
Right.
The one that Yvonne's working on. And she's at the increases for the sort of flared bit of the bottom. That'll be absolutely gorgeous.
Mm.
Right.
Very much my skirt does though. I mean, look, that's a decent flare.
Let me have a look. I'm on the wrong screen. I'm on FB. So, oh yeah. Yeah, don't bite it.
I'm trying to hold it. Like that.
Really cute. You're gonna hate me now. I just had this sudden thing pop into my mind of Miss Marple.
Miss Marple, what is that? The grey hair doing it for you, is it?
I think it's the pleats on the skirt.
Well, I think it needs to be paired with some wrinkled stockings.
Pearls.
Well, like proper wrinkled stockings, because I understand, I don't know if she's changed her mind, but I understand that the baby could well be heading towards being called Nora.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and if I said, yeah, I'm right, it was Norma. So yeah.
I like to think of it as more like Nora Jones, the singer.
The Nora Batty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we got a gif of Nora Batty? Shall I have a look?
Stockings.
There is Nora Batty. No, it doesn't like it.
I haven't got anything for wrinkled stockings either.
Yeah, it's probably too American to get Yorkshire jokes.
You might be able to Google it on a separate page and then share that live.
Nora
Batty's wrinkled stockings.
Nora Batty, there she comes. Let's have a look. Images. Oh, you gotta love that. Hang on. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. That one. Share. There she is.
Oh yeah.
Bless her. Look at those wrinkled stockings there.
I love the curlers.
Yeah. Did you ever see her without the curlers?
Only for a very special occasion.
Yeah. I mean, oh look, there she is. Oh look, there was the three of them. I remember them. Her husband was with the Marina woman.
That's Pearl, Howard's wife, and then
Howard.
it was Ivy, who used to be. Was it Alf who was in the cafe with her?
Oh, I don't know.
One of the very early episodes, she's trying to get him to dance with her, and she's telling him,
right,
holding me wrong, and he stood behind her going, let me try now.
Sounds good to me. She was sassy. Yes, Helen, she was sassy. My stepdaughter's definitely sassy, so if she's anything like her mum.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she doesn't stand for any rubbish.
Best thing these days, isn't it? I use 2.65 balls of the bamboo cotton for my ED top.
So how much have you got left?
900 grams plus 35.
So what are you going to do with that?
I've got enough to make a couple of tops or cardigans, to be honest. So I don't know. Yeah.
Anything?
I'm thinking Hot in the City, that top of Jutta's that we looked at the other day, the red one.
Billy Idol. Hot in the city, hot in the city tonight.
I'm thinking that would be good. And I've still got my Tide water. Oh, so Helen's saying it's splendid double knit, which is a merino silk blend, tonal colours, but she does a lovely job of variegating it a bit. And the colour is called Poison Apple, which is a lovely red. Oh, and she's just messaged with a picture. Can you see that?
I can see you.
Right, where am I? Let me get back into the thing. I can't get back into my thing. Hang on.
They just love tech.
Hang on. Yeah, I can't see us in the group, so I need to get back to that page because otherwise I won't have the controls to switch it off later or whatever.
Oh, does that mean we have to just stay on indefinitely? I think Helen will definitely get to the end of her ironing by then, won't she?
I would think so, yeah. It's baffling this with Facebook. It will bin you out of stuff.
It's rude.
It is. But we're still
here. Are you getting anywhere? I want to see this yarn. I'm excited.
Right, so I'll have to, now that I'm back, I need to open another.
Does Helen know what she's making with it when she's finished watching? You've got a project in mind, Helen?
Absolutely love that it's called Poison Apple. I mean, how utterly luscious is that? So let me
entertain me.
I could entertain you.
Well, you are.
Where is it?
Oh, she's making good now.
Can you see it now? Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, it's like a pinky colour.
It's almost a pinky, and there's a little bit of a rusty warmth to it, like a
rough, yeah,
burnt red almost. That's
lovely.
Beautiful.
It's very similar to one that I had years ago off of an indie dyer, and she'd called hers something to do with vampires or something. So yeah, it's like because blood can almost be black, can't it?
When it oxidizes, yeah.
So it's probably just all the different hues like that. Yeah, it's lovely.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Right, I'm going to get rid of that and back to where we are. So yeah, that's absolutely stunning. Oh, so Helen's making dinner now.
Yeah.
With the ironing. 6 on 4 shawl. So she started that as the swatch, and it's kind of a rusty red, which will look amazing on you, Helen. It will be absolutely gorgeous.
Very nice.
What's for dinner? Just so we know what time to get round there.
I was just going to ask the exact same question.
So we've missed our steak. Well, I had steak, but did you get steak?
Callum had steak on Friday, but I'd been out and about and stuff, and I was too hungry to eat steak and wait for the chips to cook. So I just had a salad with some tuna mayo.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah.
We had breakfast today. Sausage, bacon, eggs, beans. Well, I didn't have any sausage because it was the one thing that Morrison substituted was my non-gluten-free sausages. Rude.
It is naughty, isn't it? Oh, Helen says it's roast chicken. That's lovely. Do we get gravy and roast potatoes and all the trimming?
I'm there. What veggies are we having?
Yeah, definitely want lots of gravy.
Only gluten-free gravy, though.
Yeah, sort of several pints of it, really.
Lots of
Are you northern about your gravy? Because I like my dinner swimming in it.
Yeah, and I don't like it too watery either.
No, decently thick.
Robust.
Oh, so Helen had poutine on Friday. Blue Caribou are doing mail order. That sounds wonderful. I've still
Mm.
not tried poutine.
I haven't tried it. I don't even know what it is. What is it?
It's chips and like the is it the curds of the cheese
Oh, well, I can't eat that then.
and a gravy over the top. So Helen's then obviously loads of gravy. So yeah, that's all good.
And I'm sorry, but I probably am a Philistine, but I have Yorkshire puddings with every roast dinner. I don't care that it's only supposed to be beef.
I've got a joint of gammon for tomorrow night. We were going to have it today, but Jake's is so ridiculously excited about these little pieces of salmon.
Him. He'll probably be looking around for your bit by the time he's finished his.
More than likely. I did cook two pieces of salmon the other day, one for his tea and one for my lunch, and both had gone when I got up.
Nice.
Oh, so Helen says chips with cheese curds and gravy and bacon. Is that crispy bacon?
I'm sorry, but that doesn't really sound very nice. Like British gravy, the brown gravy, not the American
Yeah,
gravy.
the brown
Like
gravy, proper real gravy.
on cheese.
Yeah, honestly, it works. You know, you just haven't got into this northern thing, have you? Chips, cheese, gravy.
I tell you what, someone made me try yesterday was that kombucha or whatever it's called.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
You like it?
Anne Hall was so funny. She took a little like sample like thimble thing and she's tasting it and she went, "Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And oh, let me have a little think if I'm not sure." And I I went, "Oh, that's disgusting. It's like drinking vinegar."
Oh,
And she's going, "I was trying to be tactful."
well, my GP makes it, and he drinks it with gin,
Right, okay.
which apparently improves it immeasurably.
Well, I think I'd rather just go with the gin and something else, to be honest. I have got an elderflower and lemon vodka to try this weekend.
You're not going to mix that with the gin, though, are you?
No, 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 just the elderflower and lemon vodka with lemonade.
Yeah, Helen definitely approve crispy bacon.
No, no, sorry. And that did you like that video of the cherry Coke one that I sent you?
That just looks odd. That's like one of them lava lamps.
Yeah, it's got edible glitter in it. And I thought, oh, Callum will love that. But like I say, it probably tastes like cough medicine. He's been drinking Jägermeister with cherry aid, which definitely tastes like Cavonia, if you ask me.
Oh,
No, not good. But he thinks it's lovely.
I always just think of Del Boy with his cherry aid and creme de menthe.
Oh God, yeah. I might have to try some of that. Not really.
Or you could try some of what is it, Patricia's cooking from Vicar of Dibley.
Oh yeah, I used to love that program.
Sardine and vanilla cupcakes. Yeah.
Sounds alright. What's wrong with that? Do you know what though? For all that my food issues are a pain in the proverbial, it's really good. It gives you an out when you don't want to have something. Oh, I'd love to, but unfortunately, I can't.
Yeah, I've got complex food allergies and that
Yeah.
looks like crap.
Looks like crap. It smells like crap. I bet it tastes like crap, but I'm just gonna pretend
Yeah.
it'll give you craps. Oh yeah,
Well,
it is.
has anybody watched The Luminaries on the BBC?
Oh no, I did see that. I'm still on Killing Eve, but I might watch that next.
I'm just curious as to what it's like. I've watched about the first 20 minutes of episode 1.
Oh, only 20 minutes. You weren't impressed
I
then?
was busy with something else, and it was, do I want to make this my next binge watch? And I quite like the characters in it, and I see that Eve Green's in it from Penny Dreadful. who I absolutely love. So yeah, it does look like there's going to be some interesting actors in it, but when I read the reviews of it, they were all saying that it was the nighttime scenes and indoor scenes are very dark.
All right.
And BBC are trying to say that it was to evoke 18th or 19th century New Zealand, whatever it was, and that they'd have candlelight and all the rest of it, and that's how it would be. But to be honest, I don't like to struggle to know who's in the scene. I like to be able to see enough to know which actor's speaking.
When it's like that, you have to watch it in the dark to even stand a chance of seeing it, don't you? And that's no knitting. And unfortunately, it's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
The only time I will watch something without knitting in my hands is when I'm at the cinema.
Oh, I take socks.
No, I don't. I can't sit and knit in the cinema. I want to concentrate on the movie. And also, I've got my hands full of snacks. You know, like Scooby.
Oh, well. What's his real name?
Scooby-Doo?
Yeah.
No idea.
Scoobert.
Ah.
Scoobert Doo.
Why Scuba? That doesn't even make sense.
It was from an aristocratic family.
I'm thinking my next dog is going to be called Montague.
Right.
I just think that's a cool name for a dog.
This is because you just read that book. Was it good?
It was very good. I love it. No, because he wrote it in the end of 2017.
All right, so before Nigel actually passed away then.
Yeah, but I did just buy the page spread as a tribute to him in it.
Oh,
I do love a Nigel. But yeah. But no, I think Monty would be a good name for a dog. Montague when he's been naughty.
would be good.
Either that or I still really like Koothrappali.
Yeah, it's a difficult one though, isn't it, to be shouting out, and some people will get it and some people completely won't.
No. Well, we don't mind if people don't get it because, you know.
Well, I put that post up the other day of the toilet paper the right way and the wrong way.
So do you have it going over towards you or do you have it at the back wall away from you? Towards. Exactly. My mother does it the wrong way round. It's rude.
Mike does it the wrong way around. So it was a meme of the child from The Mandalorian, the Yoda child, pointing at the correct toilet roll going, this is the way, which is from the series. And then underneath, this is not the way. And I'm in 100% agreement.
I mean, my husband is so slap happy, he would just get one and shove it on and he wouldn't even know what way round it was. I mean, that's even wrong. At least my mum has a certain way that she likes to put it on, even if it is wrong.
Well, Mike does it that way because he's left-handed and apparently from underneath. My argument is that it's just wrong.
Tell him he's lying. I'm left-handed.
Although for the first few years we were together, he never managed to put a toilet roll onto the toilet roll holder up until I just sat there silently one day and then sort of looked at him over my glasses and said, I thought you had a degree in engineering. Well, I do. I'm a nuclear engineer. Oh, you know, you'd never know. What's that supposed to mean? I just said, well, defeated by a toilet roll holder. Not much of an engineer. And ever since then, he's always put the bog roll on.
I love it. Do you know what my daughter does? And, you know, it's just shocking, really. So, sitting on the toilet roll is there that you're using. Fresh toilet rolls are in the cupboard next to you, also within reach. And in front of you, next to the sink, is a bag for recycling. the toilet roll innard cannot go in the bag for recycling ever. It has to go on the windowsill behind, and I'm just confused by this.
Which is actually harder to get. Is it an ab exercise?
Well, maybe, yeah, maybe it's a stretching thing.
Like part of a yoga routine.
You just,
No, stretch,
practice.
stretch and fart. Because you're in the right place if you're doing it, aren't you?
Well, exactly. I a little bit target practice and it's there. No, it's too hard.
Someone was telling me he's been a manager at hotels for years, and he said that they've got these little ornaments of tiny flies that they've put onto the urinal.
Oh yeah.
And that the incidences of squirts that are not in the urinal has dropped by something like 90% because men are uber competitive about having to hit the fly.
I love it. They need some kind of target practice, don't they? When my mum adopted my little brother Josh, she put a ping pong ball down the toilet because it doesn't flush away, does it? It just floats.
No.
The exact same reason. And then somebody came as a guest and fished it out. Oh dear, it's quite funny. I'm always telling Arthur, don't put your balls down there because I am not getting it back out. You put it in there, you lose it, mate.
I thought he'd lost them at the doctor's.
Well, yeah, he lost those ones, but not his tennis balls. He loves a tennis ball.
Yeah.
He's like Nigel with that. You only have to tell him to find his ball and he'll be off.
Mine are flat out. All I can hear is snoring.
It's unusual. Normally he's laid there, but he's got one ear open. And if he hears an interesting word, he'd be straight there.
What, like chocolate biscuits?
Or sweeties.
Yeah, these are definitely flat out because there'd have been a scoot across the room for chocolate biscuits.
Yeah. Sweeties didn't do it either. Twice.
Why not?
Should we see if the drawer going works? Oh, still no movement.
Oh well.
Oh, now we've got movement.
Has anybody done anything about their blueprint account? I mean, I know they've not come up back to us with kind of a this is how you get your classes yet, or if they have, I've certainly not seen anything.
Is there any on that? What's happening with it?
Well, there's the letter to the customers saying that we'll be closing it in a few months, dated 24th of May, but obviously we're almost at the end of June now.
I don't remember getting anything telling me.
I didn't. I had to log on to the site to find out what was going on.
I think it's shocking.
But I can't see anything that says how to download the videos.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing. Because I'll have to update my Dropbox storage for that one, or maybe buy another external hard drive.
Yeah.
I did start downloading my Ravelry patterns, and we're not going to discuss how many of those there may or may not be. But after 12 pages, I gave up because I was just sick of it.
How are you feeling about Ravelry now?
The last 2 days I've been using the new Ravelry.
Yeah.
And they've made a vast number of improvements already. And I've not had any headaches. It was on most of the day yesterday, and the laptop's next to where I sit. By the end of the day, my eyes were a little bit tired, but I've had a fairly heavy week and at least one night with next to no sleep. So I think that's got more to do with it than Ravelry has, to be fair.
And it could just be screen in general.
Yeah, exactly. So I've not had any problems with it now, particularly in the forums where they've got rid of the large amounts of white space and other stuff. And I honestly feel at the moment that some people are just using it as a stick to hit them with because of the anti-Trump stuff last year.
Yeah, I wonder if it came back just to, you know, have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, somebody did comment the other day about how they thought that all of this awfulness that was happening to them was just sort of karma for kind of what they'd done with the Trump thing, how they'd kind of wished it on them. And I thought that was a rather horrible thing to say, or a horrible way to be, really, that you would just want anything bad to happen to anybody.
I think the only thing is that they haven't really communicated very well. But I know, obviously, if there's only so many of them and they're very busy, you've got limited resources. I think possibly might be the time now to employ someone as a full-time social media person.
Yeah, even if they just did it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, even like on a temporary basis. I think they need someone to be doing that full-time.
Yeah, because some of the designers have been quite vociferous on social media about it.
Yeah, and well, exactly right, Helen. Helen says the people complaining are clearly perfect and have never made mistakes. Those in stone glass houses and all the rest of it.
Well, yeah, I think some of it is just the desperate need for drama and nastiness, and there does seem to have been some rather vociferous comments and conversations over the last 18 months that, quite frankly, that should never have made it to Ravelry. People have to grow up.
Unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you do, eh?
Well, one of them things, isn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna have to sort out my blueprint and I suppose bite the bullet and download more of the Rav patterns. Oh, excuse me, that was a big yawn. I don't know where that came from.
I know I'm not the most scintillating of company. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna blame it on the hot chocolate, and no, it hasn't.
Oh yeah,
got no vodka or whiskey in it.
Hot chocolate is actually a bedtime drink, to be fair. So your body's probably just saying, "Oi, what's going on?" Because you've got to go and make salmon.
Yeah, Helen's saying she thinks there'll be enough drama with the pandemic, and yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But some people thrive on it being all about them. And I think there are far too many who are making it a personal crusade when actually it's not even doing anything to them.
I mean, I know that there are some people who were actually physically made ill.
I was physically sick.
Yeah,
I had to be sick, but yeah.
I'm very lucky that I wasn't affected by it. I was very upset for those people that, like you, who were affected by it. I don't actually mind the look. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I don't like it," blah blah blah. I didn't mind the old look. I don't mind the new look. I don't think it actually fits the brief, as in more gender neutral and all the rest of it. I think it is a little bit more cutesy than most men would like it, but it doesn't offend me, put it that way. I'm feeling neutral about both the old and the new. They're fine, as long as it works.
Well, Yvonne's saying that they've made statements that don't address the problems, and I think the issue there, Yvonne, is that they're a small team, and I don't think they anticipated any of this. And I don't think they could roll back. This is a change of platform. If you look under the hood at the code has changed. This is just a reskin. I don't believe they can move back.
So they part X that comfy old banger and got a shiny new car, but it's not quite as good as they hoped it would be.
Well, I suspect it's been running on the new car side of it for quite a while, but nobody's noticed because the style sheet hadn't changed.
Right.
And that they've been doing other stuff in the background in tandem.
Yeah.
And thought it would be okay.
Okay.
I mean, they should have got onto it sooner in terms of, we're going to fix it, we understand it. And some of the responses were verging on the tone deaf and arrogant, really. So it's a perfect lesson in how not to do it. But how many of us here have never ever screwed up? Because I've made some monumental cock-ups in my life. and I've learned a lot from them. And all you can do is put it right at the speed that you can put it right.
I think you can see my halo. I'm perfect. Can't you just see that up there?
But not everybody's had the link to the survey. And I think Yvonne's saying that she thinks everyone should. And Yvonne's saying, yeah, they could have said, yeah, sorry, we can't roll back, instead of we decided it was the best solution to keep the new as the default. That would have implied that they didn't know what they were doing, which I think is the situation in which they find themselves.
But they don't want to.
People rarely want to admit that they've royally fucked up, do they? Sorry.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never done it myself, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. I just don't know how to deal with things when they go wrong. Yeah. What is wrong? I'm always right.
But yeah, I mean, they should have just been honest and come out with it and said, yeah. And since then, there's more information about what they've changed each day. And there's a massive difference to what I first saw last week compared to what there is now.
Right.
And the thing is that the link to the survey is, as Helen Curzon's actually saying, it's on the home page. It may have been emailed out to only a certain sector of users, but the link is on the home page for anybody who wants to go to it. So I don't know that they're deliberately excluding anyone. Maybe they just wanted to start with the ones who were having the most difficult issues and get their feedback to act on that first. And the problem when you're a small team, if you don't communicate what you're doing every minute of the day, is the person at the other end thinks you're doing nothing.
Yeah. Which is why I think they need someone in charge of the media full time, just even for a little while, like you said. PR. You need a PR person.
You do. Whether they'll do it or not, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to see the changes they've made in a very short space of time, given how challenging it will have been to do that.
Yeah.
And I believe they stopped the animation on the home page. You can press a play button now to choose to see it, because a lot of people did like it.
I don't even know if I've seen it. I never go to mine's always logged in. It never logs me out. And then I never go to the front page where it's got the, the eye candy and all that lot. I always land on the forums page for some reason. I don't know. Oh, well. Ho-hum. What do I know?
Helen's saying, isn't Sarah supposed to do PR type stuff? I think Sarah and Mary Heather are doing the firefighting with the comments and the responses at the moment.
Are they trained in modern PR though, or is it just stuff that they've picked up as they're going along?
I haven't a scuba. I don't know.
Scuba. You know what they need? They need a Dominic Cummins to just spin it and give us a story. Do you think that they changed Ravelry to test their eyesight?
Oh yeah, it could be that,
because they weren't sure if they could, see properly. So they decided we'll just change Ravelry and see what happens.
Yeah. Did you see Jonathan Pye the other day on about Glastonbury?
Haven't yet. No, I love that man.
Oh, you've got to watch it.
Okay,
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Really funny.
So funny. I liked all his lockdown ones.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's just clueless, isn't he? But he's saying what we're all thinking a lot of the time. So Michelle says, I've had access to the survey, just there on the main page. Oh, so some people have reported receiving an email or a PM about it, but hadn't reported issues.
You know what?
Oh, Helen says she doesn't think even Goebbels could explain this to everybody's liking. And I think that's the problem. Everyone's far too emotionally invested in the outcome. And I know I have to praise Yvonne for her response the other day, because I thought that was very professional, where she basically said there are some issues with Ravelry which might make people feel unwell. And rather than put you in a situation where if you want to buy my patterns, it's going to make you feel sick, this is the link and you can get them from here, and that's the alternative. And you can go there and get the patterns. And I thought that it was very responsible. There was no name calling, no, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It was very matter of fact, and I have found a workaround if you are having issues, and this is it. And I thought that was great. But a lot of people have been quite snide and a little bit mean, I think, across social media, with absolutely no comprehension of how hard it is to do something like this. They all think it's a 2-minute job.
I don't understand what they're doing.
Because technology always works like that.
Well, they're just sitting around with their thumbs up their bum, you know.
It does seem to be the view, but
do you know, I need to go and get my bra off. It's just digging in. The girls aren't happy today.
are they not?
No.
Are they disliking their lockdown?
Yeah. Well, they like lockdown because that's, you know, that's free and easy and nobody needs to worry about anything.
Just sort of swinging around the room.
Yeah, what they're disliking is the fact that I'm tending to wear bras more often now. It's just wrong.
Oh, you can't go on camera without one, really, can you?
Well, I did. What a mistake of the maker. Where are they? Are they down there somewhere? Huh?
I was kind of wondering if you had a cushion in the front of your jumper. Thought, what?
Well, you know, instead of 7 bellies, I was 8 bellies.
I know.
You know.
It was a nice jumper.
It was a very nice jumper. It would have been set off properly if, you know, it fitted where it was supposed to fit, not where it wasn't supposed to fit.
Never mind.
Oh, well. Oh,
now, we had a chat in the after party, and I mentioned about how we had talked about possibly doing like a Facebook meet.
Oh, yes.
Have a meeting room in the group. A few people were interested. Some suggested sort of midweek evenings. Helen was either a Sunday or sort of coffee time-ish in the week, because it's easy then just for half an hour to sort of gaffer take the boys to a video game or something.
Oh, yeah.
Video game. How old am I?
Was it on the Atari?
Yeah, it was.
ZX84.
I remember playing tennis.
Oh, Pong.
Up and down, up and down.
Either called Ping or it was called Pong, but I think it was called Pong, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I love it.
I really hated it, but my brother absolutely loved it.
I loved it. It used to be the only reason I'd go around my grandparents' house, because they had that and we didn't at home.
Clever grandparents. Guaranteed visits. Did anybody else have an Atari or anything like that?
And it used to make that funny noise. It was like doo 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 doo.
My brother, bearing in mind he's dyslexic and hated reading, hated writing, loathed typing, would spend all day on a Saturday typing in a few lines of code for it to go, hi, or something like that. And I remember my dad bringing home his first laptop, which was heavier than a bag of bricks.
Right.
It's in a museum now. It's in a technology museum. It was a Toshiba.
Yeah.
And to print, you had to take the floppy disk out with the word processing software on it, having saved your document to the hard drive, and it would be sort of 7 kilobytes for the document. And then you had to save it to a floppy.
Yeah.
Which had the software for the printer on it. to run the print command, and then you could print
Oh,
document, and then you had to swap it back to the word processor floppy. And
how did we ever do anything?
but honestly, it was the business. It was the
Wow.
bees.
You'd have been like in the 0.0001% of people who were actually able to do that.
Well, and it was one of those things. I mean, it was so exciting that you had this mobile computer thing, this laptop. I mean, God, by the time it went to the museum, you couldn't get the battery packs anymore, and it wouldn't hold a charge. So Jake's dad sat and soldered a bank of batteries together to give the right amount of power to fit into the back of the laptop, and that's what it went to the museum with, because you couldn't get the battery packs anymore. Awesome, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah, we talked about having sort of group chat, so I don't know. We'll have to liaise about when we do that and then send out invites. We can only have about 10 people in a meet.
Right.
But everyone can have their cameras on.
Yay!
If we wanted to do it with more, we would need to use the paid software.
Right, okay. What?
Anybody got any suggestions on that regarding timings or whatevs? Preferences?
No. I don't know. I think most people are back to work now, aren't they?
Somehow.
I'm not. All right, we're going. We're going. Calm down. You've seen my boy come to see
Oh,
me.
Yvonne had an Amiga.
Oh.
That was probably the height of sophistication then.
We had I do remember the ZX Spectrum, and my favourite game was, well, it was two. There was the paper boy, where you had to deliver all the papers, and you got extra money if you threw the paper and it knocked the trash can over. And then there was one where you were the garbage collector and you had to go around and collect all the bins and empty them. Loved those games.
Okay.
Probably like really simple for our kids now.
I've never really played computer games. It's not really my thing.
I play The Sims.
I mess with software, but not games. No.
I say I play The Sims. I just set them all off planting and making me money, and then I leave them for a few hours and then come back and harvest it and then set them off planting again.
Hmm. So you've got slaves?
I've got slaves on my iPad, yeah, basically. Although they do, one has a pet dog, one has a pet cat, and they get to play with them. And I've just won a pet dragon for someone.
Right.
So, you know, it's not all bad.
Okay.
And I don't let them sleep because sleeping takes too long, so they have a coffee instead.
You are a tyrant.
Yeah, they got to make me money. How can I build my buildings if they haven't made me any money?
How can they build your not real at all buildings?
Yeah, those ones that just you pay lots of money.
Just making sure that you know.
Yeah, and it just takes hours, and then they just suddenly appear on my map.
I thought this sort of episode was turning into Galaxy Quest for a minute. I was thinking,
well, you never know.
Yeah, I knew it was real.
It wasn't. So I need to measure how much I've got because I'm not sure how far up I'm going to go.
What age will Bambino be to wear this one then?
This one's 6 months. This one's quite big.
Well, Helen says she plays Candy Crush, but not really any other games and stuff. So Yvonne says you connected the Amiga to the TV and had a full colour screen. Now you're just showing off.
Did you? There was no such thing as like surround sound and sound bars and things like that in those days, though, was there?
No. When I met Jake's dad, he built me a surround sound system.
Cool.
with a variety of speakers he picked up at, you know, like the equivalent of Radio Shack or whatever.
Yeah.
And built a system which I think he took custody of it because I couldn't be bothered. I have a soundbar in the house now that I plug in every now and then, usually when Mike's here because he's deaf as a post.
Yeah.
And if we were to have friends around and play a bit of music, I would use the disc on the DVD player for that and plug in the soundbar, or put Spotify on the telly or something and just do a playlist. But I can't imagine any other reason why I would want to use the soundbar. If anything, it's just in the way more than it's helpful.
Yeah, we've got great big speakers under the stairs because they're obsolete and nobody wants them. You know.
Well, Helen's musing about whether or not a dragon is better or worse than minimum wage.
Oh, I would like a dragon. Little cute baby dragon.
What, you want to be mother of dragons?
No, I don't want to be mother of dragons, you know.
Okay.
Although she was a good looking girl, so maybe. But she had those weird eyebrows, so no. My eyebrows are weird enough. They don't need any extra, like, going on all the time, do they?
Well, some people just have very thick eyebrows.
It wasn't the thickness, it was the expressiveness that they, like, had a life of their own.
Well, mine do that.
Not as bad as that.
Not
Have you watched Me Before You?
No.
Right, that is your homework before I speak to you next. You have to you don't even have to watch the full thing. You have to at least watch some of it and spend at least a good 10-15 minutes watching her eyebrows.
Okay.
All right, and tell me what you think.
They got a life of their own.
Oh my goodness. You honestly, please watch these eyebrows.
Is it like Roger Moore?
I can't even describe how amazingly separate these eyebrows are. I bet she gave them a name each. You know, Bill's happy, but Ben isn't today.
Well,
Bill likes Marmite, but Ben doesn't.
Well, you can't split a room with Marmite.
Well, you can. I can't believe they've made it into a Lynx.
What Lynx Marmite?
Yeah, you know the deodorant, the aftershave. Ben, yeah, they've made a Lynx Africa Marmite, and it actually smells of Marmite.
That's just wrong.
It's just disgusting. Why would you want to smell of a food? Like, I don't want to smell of bacon, therefore I don't cook in my best clothes and then go out shopping. So why would I want to spray myself with Marmite?
I don't know.
Maybe some people love it that much. Dr. Hillary said his left armpit loves it and his right armpit hates it.
Well, I can see that would be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what I watched this afternoon, because it's free for Sky VIP at the moment, was the first of the new Jumanji films with The Rock in them.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
Callum liked them. He said that they're good. But he liked the original as well. I'm sorry, you can't beat Robin Williams.
I think it was quite funny, and I liked the way they ended it, but it was clever, and the way that the young girl drops into the body of Jack Black, I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was really funny, that she's trying to teach this very hot looking girl how to flirt, and it's basically Jack Black swinging his hips.
It's a bit like, but not quite the same as what was that one that Jack Black was in, and he was going out with the girl and she was really, really, really hot looking to him, but to everyone else she wasn't.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you mean. I can't think what it's called.
All I've got in my head is something about Mary, and I know that's a completely wrong movie. I can't even think.
Yeah, it's not that.
No, my brain's gone.
Yeah, because he's just hypnotised to think that she's absolutely stunning. Is it Tony Robbins or someone who does it to him?
he can see the inner beauty of someone. So there was that really gorgeous girl, wasn't there? And she was old and ugly and horrible looking to him, but it's because he didn't have a nice soul. Yeah.
Oh, Helen says you'd have to try to get the dogs to lick you to tell the attraction of the lynx Marmite.
That's it, Michelle. Shallow how?
Well done, Michelle.
See, she always keeps me right.
Yeah, because doesn't she jump into the pool and pretty much all the water jumps out, and he's completely oblivious to that?
Yeah, yeah. Love that movie.
It's very fat shaming, though.
It kind of is in a way, but also kind of saying you got to look past that.
It is nice that that's the premise, but yeah. The way that people react to the girl compared to him.
Yeah. Mind you, he's no spring chicken, and like he's not svelte, is he?
No. No, he's not.
Guess what?
What? You need a wee?
Yeah.
Not that we know one another well.
And the dog keeps coming my way.
I'll do a quick flash of my top.
Come on then.
This is where
it's in there, isn't it? How long do you reckon it will take you to finish that? A couple of days?
Yeah, a couple of days, I'd have thought. And then there's quite a few ends to weave in because ball number 3 had 4 knots in it.
Oh, how rude.
Yeah.
I hate that when it happens.
So yeah, there's a few ends sort of hidden about.
I think I'd be sending an email.
Yeah, usually I cut them out, but because they were easy knots to kind of undo, that's what I did with them this time. But usually I would cut them out and post them off to the yarn company with a note saying, "Hi, what's going on here?" So I don't know whether I should be rubbing myself with Marmite. I probably wouldn't get rid of cocoa at all.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
I'm not doing it because, you know, Arthur's a pain as it is. Comes and sits on my head and stuff. No. Can't stand Marmite.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit yeasty, isn't it? It's one of those things.
Yeah. Women quite often have a problem with yeast anyway. We don't need any extra problems.
No, we don't. Where have I put my marker? Oh, it's falling in my keyboard.
Rude.
Yeah, it's pinged out. Never mind. Right.
I'm going to have a measure of my thing. I'm going to finish watching Killing Eve tonight. And
right. Are you on series 2?
I am literally about 10 minutes away from the end of the last episode of season 2.
Right. Oh, we expect a full review then.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thursday,
yeah.
Right. So we'll see you next time. I'm not. Where do I switch this one off?
So long, farewell. I'm still saying goodbye.